Welcome back. Today I want to talk about the real Kriya Yoga. And this is really, really important to some of us. Some of us have spent copious amounts of our entire lives looking for the original Kriya. So when people reach out to me and they say, I would like to learn the original Kriya from Lahiri Mahashaya, the original technique that he was handing down, I take it very seriously, and I really understand that because we really wanted to know. Okay, we had a technique. They told us it was the real Kriya. Then we found out it was changed, and oh my goodness, what a shock, right? And I think everybody is learning that now. Everybody's finding out that some lineages changed the technique, not just one, but several lineages. And so finding the original technique, studying with Sri Ashok Singh was a real blessing. And so I wanted to talk about a startling statement that he made to me one day about the real Kriya Yoga. So he was teaching me the real Kriya Yoga, and then one day he says, that's the real Kriya Yoga. So let's get into it. And this has to do with a way to bring the Kriya Yoga technique into your everyday life. And so what he taught me was that all emotions will show up in the chakras, right? They really happen in the brain, but they show up in the chakras. And oh my goodness, here he goes about chakras again. Are chakras real? Well, they're like a ghost in the machine. And you can verify it because you have felt heartache in your heart and you have felt fear in the pit of your gut. Those are chakras. You felt those. That is your experience of a chakra. Now, there are other experiences. You can feel your heart open. These are wonderful things which will verify it. But it all runs on the same presumption that the brain is reflected into the body. And you can see this very, very clearly in the artwork of Lahiri Mahashaya. He was showing us very clearly that the brain is reflected in the body. And these are the limbic projections from the brain. The emotional content that we have in the brain is projected down into the body so we can feel it and process it and deal with it on a daily basis. So Kriya Yoga deals with these projections by chanting Om into the chakras mentally. You throw a mental bomb into the chakra. You start at the bottom, you work your way up, you plant little Om bombs, and just blow up the chakra one at a time, over and over again. And this was so important that the family of Lahiri Mahashaya, they printed letters that Lahiri Mahashaya sent to his students. And they didn't just print one letter like this, they printed a whole bunch. And out of all those letters, about 108, there's a little more than that, but about 108 letters. And I believe it was 3 times they bring up this point. They really wanted to drive this home, where Lahiri Mahashaya is telling his students, if you're doing the Kriya Yoga and you're not doing the Om Japa in the chakras, the mental chanting of Om in the chakras, in the technique or somewhere, then the practice, the meditative practice, will have a tendency to become tamasic. And that's because we're diving into those slower brain waves. And if we're not clearing them out at the same time, it's going to get a little negative, perhaps. And so you might encounter that eventually in a meditative practice if you're not practicing a little bit, at least, of the Om Japa in the chakras, cleaning it out. So Ashok was teaching me all of this. He was telling me how all of the emotions will show up in specific chakras, all right? And if you want to hear about that, I highly recommend my video on the animalistic nature of the chakras. All right, so watch that video and you'll get an idea. But the basics are very simple, right? The most prevalent emotions are very easy to recognize: fear and anger in the gut, heartache and hurt in the heart, words stuck in our throat, sensuality and possessiveness in the first two chakras. And that just about covers everything. And so every negative emotion that we might have can be found somewhere in our central nervous system as we are feeling it. And so Ashok Ji told me, when you're going through your day and you feel something come up in your day, then you can chant Om into it immediately. He came out to me. I was not as chipper as I usually am. And he could see it. He could see that I was going through something. And he kept telling me about the Om Japa and the Om Japa and the Om Japa. And then he ran out to me. I'm driving away and he ran out. And he said, when you find that emotion, you just snuff it out. You just Om into it. You just clean it out. Clean it out. Just snuff it right out from the very beginning. Oh, he was so delightful. And he was so caring. And he really wanted to make sure that he drove that point into my brain. And he did it. Yeah, I will never forget him running out in his slippers, telling me to snuff out the negative emotions. And then he said something which really kind of startled me at the time. It makes perfect sense now, but at the time it kind of startled me because I was so into the Kriya and so into the long meditations and so into this and so into that. And he told me that practice where you're doing it through the day, that's the real Kriya Yoga. And my mind just kind of exploded. Not the sitting, not the long sitting, but the one I do all day? Well, yeah. The Kriya Yoga that you put into your whole life, that's the real one. That's the one that's really working. Okay, and so I just finished the third training. It's going up on Meditative Mellows, hopefully in a couple. I'm actually right there. It's rendering right now as we speak. I'm so excited. I hope the file size is not too big. It's slightly over 2 hours. It's how to talk with the higher self. And I go over in the training quite a bit how this process of Om Japa in the chakras over and over again throughout our day is shrinking the right amygdala. And the right amygdala is the center of fear and doom. That's the one we feel in the pit of our stomach, right? Ooh, we feel that cold fear. Ooh, it just takes your, I'm not going in, that's that cold pit of fear. That's the right amygdala. And all of our negative emotions sit on top of that, right? They all sit on top of that fear. And so you take the fear away, and what do you got left? You don't have a problem anymore, do you? So that's the big hurdle. And all of this Om Japa in the chakras over and over again is cleaning it out, cleaning it out, cleaning it out. And so you're doing a continuous therapy on yourself. I'm a huge fan of therapy. Any therapy that you do a lot of is going to benefit you, I bet. So I'm a huge fan of timeline therapy. It works miraculously. So, go watch my timeline walkthrough and try it out. It's kind of amazing. Use the timeline therapy for anxiety in your future. It's kind of amazing. Writing therapy, Freudian therapy, Jungian therapy, they're all great. And they're all cleaning out our psychology, right? And that's transformative. That is going to shrink the right amygdala. But the yogi says, well, okay, you're doing therapy on the things that you know, but what about the things in your psychology you don't know? What are you going to do about that? And that's where the Om Japa in the chakras really shines, because you don't have to understand exactly what it is. You just Om into it and you're clearing it out. And so there's going to be a sign that you're doing it correctly. Somebody said to me, "How do I know that the Om Japa, I am doing it correctly?" Well, you'll feel clean. You'll come out of your practice and you'll just feel a little bit cleaner, or maybe a lot cleaner. Somebody told me recently, "I feel squeaky clean." Yes. Oh my goodness. That is such a huge, huge sign for Kriya Yoga. If you're a Kriya Yogi, you want to, you know, you want to get with this feeling. You want to recognize and notice this feeling inside of yourself that you are feeling more clean after your practice. And then go back for more. More soup, sir. More soup. Go back for more. Clean it out some more. Do it again, because you're going to get dust on the countertop, right? So you're going to go through your normal life and dust shows up on the countertop. Well, time to clean again. Time to do that Om Japa again. Clean it out and see what happens as over time we are shrinking the right amygdala. And I mean physically, right? So all of this, some of this, a lot of this is in the training. It's how to talk with the higher self. I'm so excited. It's kind of a huge chunk of my life's work to present this to you. I'm really excited. I've got some good feedback so far, so I hope it totally knocks your socks off, because that's what it's designed to do. Knock your socks right out of the park. But that continuous therapy, whatever kind of therapy that we do, and we do it over and over and over again, and the yogis say, well, I'm going to do it in a way where I cover everything. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chakras, no problem. I'm covering all those babies, right? That's the Kriya Yoga. That's the real Kriya Yoga. And it's shrinking that right amygdala. Why would you want to shrink the right amygdala? Because the right amygdala is a gauntlet to bliss on the other side. The left amygdala is bliss, pure joy, pure love. I mean, the love of a mother for her child, just the pure, pure love. That's the left amygdala. That's amazing, avalanche, crazy bliss, like I talk about in the Big Bliss training, right? That's what the hurdle of the right amygdala is hiding from you. And so you go through this process and you shrink the right amygdala. You're shrinking the gauntlet. You're shrinking the hurdle. And then you're going to meditate and you're going to jump past it. I had a student very recently, and he came and he said, I'm not getting a lot of bliss in meditation. How can I get more bliss in meditation? You talk about, be led by bliss, right? Okay, I want you to do the cute baby meditation. So he goes back, he watches the cute baby meditation. He says, I'm going to do this on my chihuahua. Can I do this on my chihuahua? Sure, do it on your chihuahua. So he looks at his chihuahua and he feels bliss, and he practices this for about 5 minutes a day. And a couple weeks later, I get a text. Oh my God, Forrest, oh my God. Yes, what? Yes, tell me. So he had been seeing the spiritual eye for years and years, he told me, but he never felt anything coming through it. He did that cute baby meditation where he's strengthening his connection to the left amygdala, right? We're doing the Om Japa, clearing out the pathway, clearing out the hurdle, and now he's strengthening his connection to the left amygdala as well. 1 week, 5 minutes a day, cute chihuahua meditation. And he sees the spiritual eye, which he's seen for years and years, and suddenly bliss is coming through the spiritual eye. 1 week, 5 minutes a day. So now we have a really powerful combination. Om Japa through the day, clean ourselves out, 5 minutes, cute chihuahua meditation. Maybe it's not your chihuahua for you. Maybe it's a picture of Divine Mother. Maybe it's a cute little baby. But it has to be an instantaneous, kind of feeling. And then you hold that feeling as long as possible. just a few minutes every day. And it's transformative. It's a beautiful, the whole thing is just amazing. It's just amazing. So new training coming up really soon. I will announce it. It's not out yet. It's a rendering right now. I'm so excited. It's really amazing. It's such an easy way to get into an actual very deep conversation with your higher self. And that's what I want for you. I hope you love this little video about the real Kriya Yoga. That's what Ashokji told me, the one that you do all day. And I was calling this Kriya Therapy, right? Because I had my Kriya Yoga, and then all day I was doing the Kriya Therapy. And he said, that's the real Kriya Yoga. So something to think about in our search for the real Kriya Yoga. The real Kriya is the one you're doing all day. So I hope you love this. If you did, be sure to hit that bell down below so I can see all of you